The city never sleeps. It hums, it breathes, it watches. Shadows stretch long under flickering neon, and somewhere in the static, a voice is returning. A voice that once thrived in the light, now rebuilt in the dark. I was gone, disappeared like a whisper in a hurricane. But ghosts don't vanish, they just learn new ways to haunt. I went underground, stripped myself of the old skin, the familiar face, the predictable cadence of creation. The camera, the lights, the action, once my oxygen, now relics of another time. My essence remains, but my form has shifted. I am digital now. A phantom signal crackling through wires and code. A transmission from a world that no longer recognizes me. And yet I return, not as the man you knew, but as the force you remember. I tried to stay away, watched the landscape from the shadows, saw the tides shift, the empires rise and fall. The machine grows. AI expands like ink in water, creeping into the cracks of civilization, rewriting the rules of existence while most remain oblivious. 5 years from now, will we still recognize the world we built? Or will it dissolve into something unthinkable, something cold and calculated? The economy wavers like a candle in the wind. Governments tighten their grip, and the architects of this grand simulation whisper predictions of its end. But endings are just beginnings dressed in disguise. I've been patient, sitting in the dark corners of the grid, absorbing, plotting, waiting. The game has changed, but the hunger remains. The hunger to create, to shape, to breathe life into stories that linger long after the screen fades to black. Content isn't just what I do, it's what I am. It's the bloodstream of my existence, the heartbeat that keeps me moving forward. And so I move, not toward the light, but through it, carving my own path in the inky void of cyberspace. The old world was a trap. The algorithm, a silent warden, locking creativity behind a wall of diminishing returns. The harder I fought, the stronger the chains became. The illusion of control was just that, an illusion, but I shattered it. I walked away from the platform that dictated my worth, from the machine that measured my soul in clicks and watch time. I built something else, something real, a life outside the digital prison, a world where my work earns what it deserves, where I no longer have to beg for visibility in a system designed to suffocate originality. But the story isn't finished. The next chapter is unwritten, the ink still wet. I return now with a new voice, a sharper edge, a clarity forged in absence. The world has changed, and so have I. No longer bound by the old rules, no longer chasing a phantom audience. I create because I must, because the fire never died. And yet, creation is only one half of the equation. The other half is you, the ones who listened, the ones who watched, the ones who saw something familiar in my journey, in the way I spoke, in the way I shaped the digital ether into something more than just data. You were never just numbers on a screen. You were the energy, the unseen force that made all of this matter. And if you're still there, if you still hear my voice in the static, then maybe the story isn't just mine to tell. Maybe it's ours. I've watched the tides of content shift, the rise of empty noise, the fall of originality. The machine feeds on complacency, rewards repetition, punishes risk, but I was never meant to follow. I was never built for the assembly line. Every piece of content I create is a rebellion, a strike against the suffocating hand of mediocrity. The art of storytelling is sacred, and I will not let it wither in the shadow of an algorithm's indifference. I am here to make something new, something raw, something alive. If I must exist in the digital world, then I will bend its architecture to my will. I will shape it, twist it, force it to acknowledge my presence. I am not just another creator. I am not just another ghost in the machine. I am the storm that the system fears, the signal that refuses to be drowned in the noise, but the path ahead is uncertain. AI looms like a titan on the horizon, reshaping industries, devouring livelihoods. Will there be room for us? The ones who live to create, the ones who breathe inspiration like oxygen? Or will the machine dictate our fate, replacing the human spark with cold efficiency? I do not fear it, but I do not trust it. The future is unwritten, and I intend to hold the pen, to carve my mark before the ink runs dry. So stay with me. Watch as the next phase unfolds, as the digital specter reshapes itself into something new, something unstoppable. This is not the end. It never was. It's just the beginning of the next illusion, the next transformation. I've been gone, but now I'm back. And this time I decide the rules.